The screen is a blur of water, then darkness. We rise from the murky depths of a river, following the lifeless body of Tyler Rake as it's swept away by the current. He is broken, bleeding, seemingly dead after his fall from the bridge in Dhaka. His team, led by the steadfast Nick Khan, watches from a helicopter, their mission a success but at a devastating cost. Yet, against all odds, a flicker of life remains. We cut to a sterile, sun-drenched hospital room in Dubai. Tyler lies in a coma, a patchwork of scars and bandages. Nick is a constant presence at his bedside, overseeing his care. Through a montage of grueling physical therapy, we witness his agonizing path to recovery. The physical wounds begin to heal, but the psychological ones fester. He retires to a remote, snow-covered cabin in Austria, a ghost seeking solitude. He chops wood, stares into the cold, and attempts to quiet the memories of his deceased son. His life as a mercenary is over. One day, the quiet is broken by the drone of an approaching helicopter. A sharply dressed stranger, who introduces himself as Alcott, steps out. He carries an offer, a new extraction. Tyler refuses flatly. His fighting days are done. But Alcott presents a piece of intel that shatters Tyler's resolve. The targets are Ketavan Radiani and her two children, Sandro and Nina. Ketavan is the sister of Mia, Tyler's ex-wife. She is trapped, imprisoned by her own husband, David Radiani, a ruthless Georgian gangster who has locked his family away with him inside the notorious Tkacheri prison. The mission is personal. It's a chance at redemption. Tyler agrees. He reconnects with Nick and her brother, Yaz, his trusted team. The plan is set. Under the cover of a bleak Georgian winter, they infiltrate the prison. Tyler, disguised as a guard, makes his way deep into the facility. He finds Ketavan in a Spartan cell, her face a mask of fear and disbelief. Her son, Sandro, is defiant, brainwashed by his father's violent ideology, while her young daughter, Nina, is terrified. As Tyler leads them out, an inmate recognizes David's wife being taken. The alarm is sounded. The prison erupts into a full-scale riot. What follows is a maelstrom of controlled chaos. Tyler, armed with a riot shield and his bare fists, carves a path through a sea of brawling inmates and corrupt guards. The camera follows him in one seemingly unbroken take as he navigates burning cell blocks and mud-drenched courtyards. He confronts David, who is orchestrating the riot to kill him. A savage fight ensues, ending with Tyler impaling the gangster on a piece of gym equipment. As they fight their way out, Sandro witnesses his father's death, a look of horror and rage directed at Tyler. The team bursts into the prison yard, where Nick and Yaz provide covering fire. Molotov cocktails arc through the air, turning the snowy ground into a fiery hellscape. They fight their way onto an armored train waiting just outside the prison walls, escaping just as the gates slam shut. But the ordeal is far from over. On board, the tension is thick. Sandro is hostile, mourning his father and viewing Tyler as a monster. Ketavan tries to explain the years of abuse she and the children suffered, a truth Sandro refuses to accept. Their brief respite is shattered by the thumping rotor blades of attack helicopters. David's brother, Zurab, a man even more feared than David, has arrived with his private army, the Nagazi. A relentless firefight erupts along the length of the moving train. Tyler and the team battle mercenaries rappelling from the helicopters while Yaz, a master pilot, detaches their car from the train and uses its mounted minigun to shoot down one of the choppers. But in the firefight, Yaz is gravely wounded. They manage to escape the assault and make their way to a prearranged safe house in Vienna, a sleek, modern apartment high in the DC Tower. The atmosphere in the safe house is heavy with grief and recrimination. The team tends to Yaz, but his injuries are too severe. He dies in Nick's arms, a devastating blow to the small, tight-knit crew. As Nick mourns her brother, Sandro's resentment boils over. He secretly uses a hidden phone to contact his uncle, Zurab, revealing their location. He believes he is honoring his father's memory. Moments later, the safe house is under siege. Nagazi forces swarm the building from all sides. A helicopter hovers outside the floor-to-ceiling windows, unleashing a torrent of gunfire that rips the apartment to shreds. Tyler shoves Kevin and Nina towards the emergency exit while he and Nick hold off the attackers. The fight spills out onto the building's slanted glass roof. Tyler, armed with a grenade launcher, single-handedly takes on the attack helicopter in a dizzying, high-altitude battle, eventually bringing it crashing down into the courtyard below. They escape the tower, but they are now completely exposed in a city crawling with Zurab's men. Nick, seeking answers and ammunition, meets an old arms-dealing contact at an airfield. The meeting is a trap. Her contact works for Zurab. A brutal, close-quarters fight breaks out inside a hangar, with Nick using every tool and weapon at her disposal to survive the ambush, proving she is just as deadly as Tyler. Meanwhile, Tyler has tracked Zurab to a remote, abandoned church where he is holding Sandro. Tyler enters, finding Zurab waiting for him. The two men, both driven by vengeance, face off. Zurab forces a terrified Sandro to hold a gun, trying to manipulate the boy into killing Tyler. But at the last moment, Sandro can't do it. The final brutal duel begins. Tyler, already wounded and exhausted, battles Zurab in a desperate hand-to-hand fight. Just as Zurab gains the upper hand and is about to execute Tyler, a shot rings out. Nick, having survived her own battle, has arrived. She wounds Zurab, giving Tyler the opening he needs to end the fight. The authorities descend, taking Zurab and his remaining men into custody. Tyler, for his part in the violence, is also arrested. Sometime later, Tyler is in prison. He receives a phone call. It's his ex-wife, Mia. For the first time, he is able to speak to her about their son, finding a small measure of peace and forgiveness. His penance, it seems, has been paid. His prison door opens, and Alcott is there again. Great name, by the way. Rake. Sounds like a gardening tool, he quips. He has another job, from a boss he describes as a gnarly motherfucker. Tyler is intrigued, but has one condition. He looks Alcott dead in the eye. I don't do it alone. In another prison cell across the compound, the door opens for Nikon. The offer has been extended to her too. A new team, a new mission. Tyler Rake is back in the extraction business.